just a very quick, I say very quick, by my own waffling standards, a relatively brief video on a subject that I sort of wanted to cover last week. Spoke about it briefly in Patreon, wanted to do it in a little bit more detail, certainly, and I will upload later on today part 3 of the video looking at the players who are out of contract at the end of this season and might be of interest to West Ham, which sees no sign of relenting. I thought in page 3 it might be diminishing slightly, but there are still players there I think might be of interest. Anyway, the subject at hand, which is, you may well have heard this rumour, this suggestion, that Sparta Prague could well be West Ham's feeder club. If you haven't heard the suggestion, the link is an easy one to make, really, which is that Daniel Křetínský is now the second highest joint shareholder of West Ham United. He is also part owner of Sparta Prague. The link is there for numerous reasons. We have Czech players that have already joined us, granted from Slavia Prague. We are obviously the city rivals. We've also got Alex Krau over on loan at the moment as well. We now have an owner who's from the Czech Republic, and we have been rumoured to be interested in striker Adam Hlozek for quite some time now, haven't we? The link again is naturally being made. We will get Hlozek on the cheap because we're interested in him, because the new joint owner Daniel Křetínský will lubricate his passage. Oh my God! Will ease his path from Sparta Prague to West Ham United. That's terrible. That is. I didn't even mean to do that one. That is absolutely terrible. Excuse me. Please do excuse me. Anyway, it's the whole feeder club bit that I've. Sorry, I'm still. I need to get over that. The whole feeder club bit is not. It's not. I do apologise, by the way. Okay, compose yourself, man. Okay, the whole feeder club bit is not something that I like at all. For the pure and simple reason, I think it steals the dreams of the club who are going to be the feeder club. I sort of know this feeling myself, and you all will probably know this from West Ham. It's every time the European Super League comes up. Now, every time this suggestion, in whatever guise or form, rears its ugly head, it's suggested, and you start to read the stories, that all that the other Premier League clubs would be who weren't in the Super League would be glorified feeder clubs. So you would actually have no hope of keeping anybody decent at all. The moment you had a player that showed a little bit of form, they'd be off. They'd go and join Manchester United in the Super League. They'd go and join, whatever, Manchester City, Chelsea, whoever it may be in the Super League. It kills your dreams. It kills your dreams. They say that there will be financial security in it, that money would pass down the pyramid, but really, you're feeding off crumbs. There's a banquet table, all the big clubs are at it, and you're getting the crumbs that fall off the table. Any moment you do anything remotely good, they'll just take it. And I just sort of hate that. Now, obviously the suggestion that Sparta Prague would be our feeder club, I understand it for all the reasons I said. I understand the links, I get it. But I just think this is awfully harsh on their fans, on the Sparta Prague fans. Because why should their fans be any different from us or any different from anybody else? I'm pretty sure they don't want to be West Ham's feeder club either. Because, for those reasons, it kills their dreams. Now, don't get me wrong. I think a player like Adam Hlozek will go anyway. I really do. Because there is, let's be perfectly blunt, and I don't mean to insult anyone. It's not an insult. It's just a statement of facts. I know we have, because of all the Czech players in our squad, we have a number of Czech fans who watch West Ham channels. I think it's fair to say that the Czech league is not one of the big leagues in the world. So players would naturally gravitate away from there and want to go and play in the Premier League or go and play in the Liga or somewhere like that. So it's not that. There's still a dream there, though, isn't there? There's still a dream with some of those clubs that they will have a good run in Europe, get through to the latter stages. They have their own sets of fans. They've got their own ultras. They've got people who go to the game because they've got that whole football dream, that one we have, that Leicester City dream, if we call it that, the dream that West Ham are now currently living. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have close tie-ups with these, but if all that happens in this feeder club scenario is that we take all their best players, anybody that looks like they might be remotely international class or likely to cut it in the Premier League comes over to West Ham. Anyone that's not quite good enough for West Ham goes over to Sparta Prague. Anybody... I don't know how he's doing, as the truth be known. Take the centre-back Alves. Alves doesn't go to Sunderland. Alves goes to Sparta Prague. Now, I'm not saying that don't send any youngsters over there. I'm not saying don't have close tie-ups with the club. I'm not even saying that West Ham would not have an advantage if it came to signing someone like Adam Hlosek. Of course they would. If Daniel Křetínský has got his irons in the fire over at Sparta Prague and at West Ham, of course, it's going to be easier for West Ham to buy a player from Sparta Prague than for Sparta Prague to sell him elsewhere. Absolutely get that. But I just don't like the killing of the dream. I just don't like the fact that actually Sparta Prague, we would basically, West Ham would then become like those European Super League clubs. We sat at the big table, scoffing our faces. Sparta Prague runs the table saying, oh, please sir, can I have some more, and picking up crumbs. I don't think it's very good, and I think it goes against all the competition of football and everything that we hold dear and everything that a lot of us got completely annoyed about when the European Super League thing was happening. It was a shutout. It was a closed shop, and I think if we don't like that, then really we can't like this if we're consistent. And I don't think fans do like this. I spend a lot of time on this channel, particularly when we've got rivals coming up in previews. I will have a little wind up, particularly the Tottenham fans, and I had a little wind up with the Liverpool fans recently and things like that. I don't mind it. I think it's a bit of football banter. It's rivalries, but I've got to say, in terms of that European Super League, fair play to those fans, and I think in particular, three sets of fans I wouldn't normally praise on this channel, but it was actually the Tottenham fans, it was the Chelsea fans, and it was the Liverpool fans who stood up and they said, no, we're not having this. We're not having this. They went and protested outside their ground. It was the Tottenham fans who said to Daniel Levy, mate, we ain't having this. We do not want to be part of this. The Liverpool fans did exactly the same, and of course the Chelsea fans as well. So you saw them. It was all on Sky Sports News. They were all being pictured outside Stamford Bridge. Not a happy lot. Now, I guess only they could tell you their motivation for doing it. I think some of it is a sort of hatred of that elite level closed shop. I think some of it is the fact that actually they like being part of the Premier League. They like these rivalries. Whilst we might all insult each other, we might insult Tottenham, Tottenham might insult us, we probably quite look forward to that fixture, both of us, and take that away. And I think you may well find that that Tottenham probably don't have that same rivalry. Whilst it's probably quite nice to play Bayern Munich, it's not really a rivalry there. So I think there's something of that in it. And I also think you've got the sort of selfish nature of it as well, which I don't blame them for. We're all selfish. It's not. I don't think it's particularly a bad word, being selfish. I think it's just looking after yourself. And it's that selfish aspect of, well, if you're a Liverpool season ticket holder, you go home and away. That's great, right? But it's quite nice to go and get your away ticket and go down to London for the day. It's quite nice to go to Manchester. Quite nice to go to Newcastle. That's achievable. You can do that. I think the moment you take half of your games away and you make them in Spain and you make them in Germany and everywhere else, I think automatically you're saying to your fans, your core fan base, well, you can't do this. You're not going there. You can't go to all the games. And that's a massive thing for any fan that goes home and away. I just think it's elitist and I think it's not right. And I think if we believe that is elitist and it's not right, then certainly the thing with the feeder club is not so good either. I also think, the level at which we loan players out is probably not as great as the Czech league. I don't think it is. I'd imagine the Czech league is stronger than a lot of the places where we're loaning some of these players out as well. Don't you know? You can't tell me that that Sparta Prague are not better than Sunderland. Of course they are. The last thing they want to do is be lumbered with a centre back who they were going to probably have to play, which is going to make the standard of their football deteriorate. They don't want to be forced to play a centre back who can't really make it into the Sunderland team, or be forced to play Rinston Reid. I know he's not with us anymore, but you get my point. I understand the benefits. I think it'd be hugely. I think it's a one-way relationship. Basically, I think it's hugely beneficial for West Ham, and entirely crap for Sparta Prague. And I think for a fellow football club, I think it's a no. That being said, I'm quite happy. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. I'm quite happy to take Adam Losek from them, but for a fair fee.